Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another review. First of all, I do want to apologize. You can probably hear it in my voice, but I'm a little sick. Actually, I was supposed to pre-film today 3 videos. That will not happen, so let's start with one and hopefully for the next one I will sound a little less nasally. So yeah, let's go back to the review. Today I'm going to be talking about Something Wicked This Way Comes by Bradbury. If the name of the author sounds familiar, that's because he wrote the famous Fahrenheit 451. And if the title of the book sounds familiar, that's because it's a quote from Shakespeare's Macbeth. By the prickle of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. This book was written and take place in the 60s, and it has 2 protagonists, Will and Jim. They're both 13-year-old, they're neighbors, and they are best friends. And they live their quiet, happy lives in a suburb in the US, going on adventures together, sneaking out the way, 2 13-year-old boys would do in the 60s. And everything changes one day when a carnival comes to town. And at the beginning, they're very excited about it, but pretty soon they realize that there's something very wrong and dark and bad about this carnival. And of course, because no one will believe them, it's up to them to save everybody else from this evil in the carnival. And I really wanted to love this book. Everything from the title and the name of the author and the premise, everything looked so cool and so up my alley. I was positive that I'm going to love it. However, there was this one huge thing in the book that just made it impossible for me to enjoy it. This thing ruined the reading experience for me, and this is the actual prose and the writing of the book. You see, he writes in a way that I suppose other people will call poetic, quite frankly, and I am sorry for saying that on such a renowned author. Quite frankly, it after a while sounded to me like babble. He would have long descriptions of things that we could have understood in like third of the word that he used, filled with metaphors and simile, and he mostly focused on describing like the atmosphere and the feeling and less of the actual things happening sometimes. And basically it just was such hard work to read the book. Now, you might say, well, that's on purpose, that's his writing style. Or I can see some people saying stuff like, well, it was written in a different times. Or my favorite, you don't get it. It's too deep for you. You usually probably used to very shallow writing. So in case that's what you want to write in the comment section, let me just tell you, no. Listen, guys, I like reading old things. I appreciate them. I've read stuff that were written a century before this book was written. And even though some of them were cumbersome, I can honestly tell you, I never felt like I had to work so hard in order to understand what's going on in a book that, may I remind you, is an adventure about 2 13-year-old boys. It was very frustrating to read something and feeling like you can't 100% really understand what's going on, because he had such tiresome and cumbersome, lengthy metaphors that sometimes were really hard to understand. And as you can probably imagine, nobody in the book also talked like normal human being would, 60s or otherwise. You know what, I have an idea. How about I just read to you a part of the book so you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about? Let's see. I went to the beginning. At the beginning, they had some really nice thing, not dialogues. Okay, page 34. If that matters. And the odd thing in Dad's voice was the sound truth makes being said, the sound of truth in wild roving land of city or plain country lies will spell any boy. Many nights will drowse this way, his senses like stopped clocks long before that half-singing voice was still. Dad's voice was a midnight school, teaching deep fathom hours, and the subject was life. What the fuck did I just read? Yes, I know, if you really think about it, you understand what the meaning is, and in itself this paragraph might be very beautiful, but just think about it. Every single page was like this, every single paragraph. Imagine what it's like to read an entire book made of paragraphs like that. And granted, the book becomes more readable with time as it progresses, but I don't know, maybe it was just me getting used to this writing style. Now, I realize that I just spent an entire review talking about one thing, but seriously, first, it bothered me so much, I just had to talk about it. But secondly, this is pretty much all I have to say about the book. I might as well conclude. The story was cool, the message was very nice, the characters were interesting. I liked the boys and I really liked another character, the father of one of them, who helps them. The way it's written is tiresome. It pretends to be deep, but it's just a bunch of lengthy metaphor. Now, as someone who read a bunch of things from different points in history, let me tell you one thing that I learned. Just because you cannot understand it doesn't necessarily mean it's deep. Honestly, people, many times I did not want to finish this book. Really, if I didn't decide that I want to do a review on it, I would probably have quit somewhere in the middle. And it's not like I'm saying that writing with beautiful metaphors and poetically is a bad thing. On the contrary, I think it's wonderful. I think more young people should read books written in high language. But there's a way to do it. And here I just felt like it was all over the place. I appreciate authors who write in an interesting and beautiful and high language, but it should never come instead of making your story readable and enjoyable and understandable. So I was very frustrated from this book. I was very disappointed from the fact that I didn't enjoy it. I know a lot of people did, but I just feel like this over-the-top writing style was all over the place here, and it was way too much. Not to mention that it was very inappropriate for an adventure narrative about two teenage boys. But please don't take this as criticism on Ray Bradbury's writing in general, because he doesn't always write this way. So yeah, this book unfortunately will not be staying on my shelf. I'm probably going to donate it or whatever. And that's it for my review, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click like and show it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you dare. And also, comment in the comment section down below if there is this one book that basically you have a positive opinion on, but there was this one thing that really ruined the reading experience for you. So guys, again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time when hopefully my voice will be a bit better. So till next time, bye-bye.